Uh, have you ever wondered why you studied history in school, right? Typically, if you are a person who didn't like history, you'd identify with this song that सिकंदर ने पोरस से की थी लड़ाई तो मैं क्या करूं, right? So honestly, सिकंदर ने की थी पोरस से लड़ाई तो मैं क्या करूं is a good question to ask, but in any field, learning history is very useful. For example, even if you trace cricket history right from the days of Vijay Merchant or C.K. Naidu, you realize how slowly the Indian team created enough mental strength to be able to win in Australia or West Indies or England, that we today go on a tour and people take us seriously. Earlier, maybe it's the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, they said, oh, these people have come, they will do some time pass and go away, right? We were not respected as a cricketing nation. So similarly, in investing also, you have to learn from history. And one very important thing we learn from history is that we are not good learners, right? So the quoted example is Napoleon and Hitler. That Hitler did not learn from Napoleon, because the Russians did something very smart. They just kept on retreating, forcing Hitler to come into Russia, and then the winter got them. They really didn't have to fight, and on the way back they were massacred, right? So happened to Napoleon, happened to Hitler. Did Hitler learn from Napoleon? The most important learning from this is we will not learn from history. We will keep pretending that this time it is different, right? These are the most dangerous words in investing. And the other great thing, saying our back testing shows that. Both are absolutely nonsensical things. Back testing doesn't help, because you can't back test your emotions. So anybody who tells you back testing tells us this, don't take it too seriously. How you are going to react to each crisis going forward could perhaps be very different from what has happened in the past. However, when you see some major things like the tulip mania, after the event is over, it is easy to stand there and say, people bought one tulip for such a high price. How could it be? Won't it die? Couldn't you create your own tulip farm? All that logic flew out of the window when they were in the mid of a mania, right? So when you're in the middle of the mania, you cannot see something very fairly obvious. And who are the people who miss these obvious things? Sir Isaac Newton. And Sir Isaac Newton is definitely one person who lost a lot of money, and Albert Einstein also lost money in equity markets, right? So trying to find how people behave, etc., is again a high risk. But let us learn from two things. One is the tulip mania, where the price went haywire, and it was just from November to the May of next, from 1636 to 1637. That's it. That's such a short period, but the price just shot up. If you could go to Google search and find graphs showing this. But yes, the tulip mania or ulip mania are all things like that which could cause you a lot of hurt. So that is one history lesson that you should learn. And the other one is, of course, the dot-com boom, and the fact that there was so much greed in so many people refusing to leave the party at 11:55, saying, oh, only at 12 will my horses turn to pumpkins, right? So it's very important to note that when you're in the mid of a mania, you will not understand that you're in a mania. Everybody around you will find reasons to justify. Oh, Facebook has so much cash. Oh, there is no problem. Netflix will not have a problem at all. Look at Reliance, how much cash they have raised. So Reliance should be a good buy. Facebook should be a good buy. And Tesla is just awesome, right? Now, all these success stories, when one of them turns a failure, they'll say, oh, it was fairly obvious. Netflix had competition coming from Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime was giving it free. Amazon was able to create a lot of video movies which Netflix couldn't, because Amazon had greater budgets, blah, 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 right? Or if Netflix succeeds over Amazon in terms of entertainment, then they will say all the things in reverse. So understand that when you are an investor, it's very important that you should learn all this, read all this history, and also understand that we will not learn so well. So when markets go up, and when the market cap of one company in one industry is more than the market cap of many other industries. I remember DLF had a market cap greater than the Tata Group, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yes, we have seen those kind of frenzies. We will see that frenzy again now in pharma. You will find one pharma company, let me not risk naming anybody, whose net worth will be more than all the other FMCG companies, or one FMCG company whose market cap would be greater than all others in some other industry, right? So this happens regularly, or happens in banking, that one bank has a market cap greater than all the PSU banks put together, or greater market cap than the next 5 banks. You need to understand what can sustain, what can't sustain. Now this is very difficult. So if you think you are in a bubble, the only thing you can do is stay away from the bubble. Not think that I will participate and I will get out at 11:59 before my horses turn to pumpkin, right? So Cinderella at least had a clock which told her what was the time, and she had a choice when to leave. Unfortunately, in equity markets, there are no wall clocks, and you will find a lot of mania. You will find the American mania. I know people who have pulled out of America and invested in Japan, and they have benefited. So all these things will happen around you, whether you should be in debt, gold, bitcoins. JP Morgan said bitcoins are a joke, and now they're investing in bitcoins. So people will change their mind, which will leave you more confused, right? So learn from history. To learn from history, you have to read history, and one very good lesson to learn is look at historical returns. So historically, if equities have returned 11% per annum or 12% per annum nominal return, and there are years in which you got 36% in equity, you know that this is not going to sustain. I have money in healthcare funds, I have money in small cap funds, I know they're not going to sustain. So maybe you do an SWP, maybe you sell off a lump sum and repay some part of the loan, or buy yourself a nice tool, do any of those things. But keep on learning from history and look at historic returns and see what is sustainable, what is not sustainable. I am not saying that we have reached a peak of our market, we will go down from here. I am not saying we can't go up further. I'm sure that some shares will go up and some shares will go down. What is my view on the market? I'm very optimistic about shares in my portfolio, and I'm not so optimistic about other shares, which is fairly obvious, because if I were optimistic about share A and not optimistic about share B, then I would sell share B and buy share A. So I'm optimistic about certain companies which I hold, and if I'm pessimistic about certain companies which I hold, I will just sell. I'm not a fund manager. I don't have a 2,500 crore portfolio to sell. Most of my holdings can be liquidated in a day or two. So it's not that it's going to take me 1 month to sell all my shares. Even my debentures I'm able to liquidate quickly. So, right. So learn that we won't learn from history. Reading Amit Trivedi's book called Roller Coaster is a good idea to do this. So keep learning, keep reading, keep your head on your shoulders, keep your feet on the ground, and that's it. Understand what your goals are, what your needs are, and cater to that. Don't worry about what the journalists tell you. We can tell you whatever we want. We have to look smart the day we make the video, and tomorrow you have to make money. For you, making money is important. For us, getting viewers to watch is important. So please understand the conflict. Thank you.